Shabbat Shalom, Israel, Judah, brother DFG. Hey guys, I hope everybody's enjoying your Shabbat. I hope Abba Yah is just raining just all kind of goodness on you and getting you, just, motivated and pumped up and calling on Abba Yah because we know it's getting close to his time to return. And inside of that, chilling out on the Shabbat, thinking, reflecting, praying, meditating on his word, and then preparing and being prepared, for that moment that shofar, trumpet, that sound, that voice, that's going to lead all of the 1/3 away from the masses as Abba Yah comes in for the final judgment. So stay strong and stay patient and stay inspired because we're almost there. We're almost to the end. All the indicators, the signs are right there for us. And we know based off of what, Solomon taught us in Ecclesiastes, 1:9, what it says, the thing that has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. That which is done is that which shall be done, for there is no new thing under the sun. And so just as it was back in the past, as it is today, as it was in Noah's time, before the great flood and in the reckoning of evil, is happening again. And as much as, the rulers of the darkness of this world, the elite, the wicked, their seed, tries to prevent it from happening, the quicker the happening is going to happen. And as you can see, brothers and sisters, they're everything they have in their trick bag, they're pulling it out. From artificial intelligence, from cloning to drones, to what is that? Cryptocurrency, or at least a one world currency, to you name it, whatever they need to do to keep control, to keep suppressing, the voices of the true, chosen of Israel, whatever they can think of and construct, the confusing of Israel, the contagions that they're pushing on Israel in every kind of way, because they know that the only hope they have for extended time is for us to be in such a breakdown in regards to Abba Yah, that Abba Yah delays his coming because of the judgment that he will allow to permeate here. Maybe longer than, what was thought. Now, I'm not thinking for Abba Yah. Of course, Abba Yah knows everything. But I suspect that they know, or at least they think, the rulers of the darkness, the elite, the seed of the fallen ones, their children, the soulless ones, those that don't have the spiritless ones, let's say it the right way. They're working overtime to corrupt all of Israel, and they got their agents all around us now. But all of their deceptions and their lies and their challenges and, don't trust them, don't believe this, where's your facts? They're going to try everything they can, brothers and sisters, to throw us off of relationship. Because they know the one kryptonite for them, using their term, their superhero term, since they love their superheroes so much. The kryptonite for them is our relationship with Abba Yah. And that's why they encourage us into religion, or they encourage us just flat out have no belief other than do what thy will. But anything is better than the one thing where our power lies, and that is in our obedience to Abba Yah's Torah, because if we obey his Torah, when we go before him in prayer, he'll hear us. And so our job in these last days is to push our people back into the Torah, to guide our people back in the Torah, to encourage our people to come back to Abba Yah's Torah. All of Israel. That's our motivation. That should be each and every one of our motivations. If you're sick and tired of this stuff, and you don't want to be a part of the judgment to come upon this earth as far as taking it head on, then that's where your heart has to be now, brothers and sisters. Going back to Abba Yah's Torah. And we're here to help. We're here to help. And I'm talking about all of the brothers and sisters who have been a part of our weekly Bible studies. We are all in agreement on what your brother is speaking. So I speak on behalf of maybe 20, 30, 40 people now. And if you want to be a part of a group, you know what I'm saying, or people who, at least you know, I can get with that group and study the Torah. Since my church don't want to study it, I'm not, knowledgeable enough to study it independently, yet. I'll be there at some point if I'm taught, right? And surely I'm not going to hear about the Torah anywhere else in mainstream media and these other platforms, because if they do give me Torah, they give me Jesus stuck in the middle of it, and I don't want no Jesus or no Yahushua, because I also know that that's a part of their deception, because that's one of their gods that they have used to deceive the whole world. Go read Isaiah 14, start reading about verse 12 down to verse 20, and you'll find where Jesus, Lucifer, Yahushua is, the one who deceived the whole world. But again, I digress off of that. But again, if you're looking for the Torah and you trust, as a matter of fact, let's go over here. Come with me real quick to Proverbs. And I hope you have your saw and your hammer with you. Your saw and your hammer all the time. Because we build. Those of us who are part of this platform, we build. We build our people up. Amen. So we can be ready, Abba Yah. So when he comes for us, we are a nation or an assembled group, ready to enter into his ark of, I'm going to use, ark of protection. That's a good way to say that. All right. So we take notes and we mark it up, and we go back and we study and we reflect on it. But let's go to Proverbs 28, and then we're going to go and visit some of the things that happened in the days of Noah, right before the flood, just to give you something to compare and contrast what is going on right now, brothers and sisters. But before we do that, let's go over to Proverbs chapter 28. Because again, the enemy, they are trying to buy more time. And the part of buying that time is to keep us in all the religions of the world, or to keep us believing nothing. For them, either one is good. But Yah has an elect group, again, a called out group, a 1/3 group who are gonna stay in the book and nothing but the book. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about the Tanakh, Hebrew Bible. I'm talking about the Torah, our laws, statutes, and commandments. And I'm talking about the Apocrypha books. The books that connect a lot of the pieces together that they intentionally hid from us, so we never could truly understand who we were and what our relationship with Abba Yah should look like. But now we're at that place where we're there, and they can't stand it, and they're going to do everything in their power to shut us down. You saw that, with this channel last week. And again, and I say this sincerely, if you haven't subscribed to the backup channel, do that. Because I don't know when they're going to do it again. I mean, last time they dug up something a year later, and then when I challenged it, finally appealed it, the content we took off, but you shouldn't have gotten a strike. That was 8 days later. Okay, brothers and sisters, so that means they're going to look for justification to shut us down. And if they do, then I just want you to know where I'm going to be. Because the only thing that's going to shut me down if Abba Yah takes my soul and bring it up, put it in rest and getting ready for everlasting eternity. Other than that, I will be talking. All right, just so you know, and I'll be teaching. I'll be put deep in my heart love for his people. So I'm not going anywhere without it. But they're going to have to take me out of here, and Yah would have to give them the power to do that, and I just don't think he will. Okay? But anyway, that was a little digress. So go to the backup channel when you get a chance and just subscribe just so you, and then put the notification on. That way something happens. I'm not going to leave a lot of content over there. Probably may not be any content over there. So it's not like I'm trying to start a new channel in that regard. I just want to make sure, my people know where to find me if you can't find me on this channel. Okay? All right. That being said, go to Proverbs 28:9. And this is what it reads, brothers and sisters. It says, he that turns away his ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer should be an abomination. And again, just so you understand, I know I'm being a little repetitive, but as the old saying, teaching is repeating till learning has occurred. I know you said, when he said that, I'm going to say this probably every time if Abba Yah puts it on my heart, until it gets so full of us that we vomit it out of our nose. Excuse the expression. It is what we must do. Continue in the way. That's part of why people are so scattered now, because these wicked demons in these churches passing themselves off as shepherds of Abba Yah. Every Sunday you go in, they got a new message, or they got some kind of damn foolish, series they're doing that has nothing to do with the flock. Everything to just show their cleverness and their magnificence, their cunningness. For Abba Yah's people, Israel, to learn, brothers and sisters, then we have to study and learn and focus and revisit things. That's how you get informed. That's how you grow. You have to have consistency. And you don't get that by being scattered all over the place, everywhere. It's called discipline. Discipline learning. All right, brothers and sisters? And that's what we offer you on our Wednesday night Bible studies. We stay in 3 areas. And we said that Hebrew Bible, the Torah, the Tanakh is what I'm saying, the Torah, and the Apocryphal books. And that's all we're teaching. Now, we may talk about some current events around the world, but that's all we teach. Current events that I like to share on this platform, but if I do, I can assure you they're going to come in and attack real fast. Because we know about some other things that they're doing, like in the Sudan, but if I try to put that on this, I can assure you, brothers and sisters, you'll be looking for me after tomorrow and won't be able to find me for 7 days unless you went to that other channel. So I'm going to do my best not to give them that easy shot at your brother. All right? But it says that Proverbs again, 28:9, he that turns away his ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer should be an abomination. So Israel, wherever you may be on this flat earth, whatever country you're in, whatever continent you're on, whatever island you're on, can you imagine that if you're praying, and all the praying that I know many of you are doing, can you imagine that it's not being heard by Abba Yah? Maybe it's being intercepted by another entity who's passing itself off as Abba Yah and answering some of your prayers, but never changing your circumstances. You see, that's the deception of praying the wrong way or not knowing who you are praying to. For Abba Yah to hear your prayers, according to Solomon, who's the wisest man that ever walked this earth, he says, you have to be learning the Torah. You have to be listening to the Torah. Otherwise, your prayers are going on, as he said, deaf ears. In other words, your prayers are an abomination because there's another entity that's intercepting your prayer. Spiritual entities who are intercepting your prayers and then going behind wherever they go and then conjuring up something and bringing it back to you as a perverted version of what you want. You're thinking this is the real thing. I'm blessed now only for the problem to reoccur again. How many of you had sickness, for an example, and you weren't in the Torah, but you were praying, and then all of a sudden you were healed, or you thought you were healed, only for what? That illness to return again later on. And then you find yourselves almost questioning, well, does Abba Yah heal? Am I just being fooled? Am I just being, manipulated? No and no. What it is, they're giving you artificial temporary satisfaction, imitation, restoration, only for it to reappear because they want you to lose your faith. Because they know if you go to the well enough times and there's no water in that well, ultimately what? You're going to stop going to the well for water. So when you pray, you want to pray with clarity. And don't believe anybody telling you that the demons cannot come and intercept your prayers. I'll give you an example where you can find this at. If you go over to the, okay, I think we're clear here. Because I want to go to Daniel because I want to give you a precept here. Okay, brothers and sisters, so you can understand that what I just told you has happened before. All right? So I'm going to say it one more time. That if you want Abba Yah to hear your prayers, you have to be hearing the Torah. Hearing the Torah means you have to be learning the Torah and obeying the Torah. And so if you're not with a group that's teaching the Torah without bringing in unclean idolatrous gods, then we have a group of believers, 20 plus more of us, who are getting together on a weekly basis, and you can learn right along with us. You're invited. The information is on the About page on the channel. But check this out, and then we're going to get over to some pre-flood information. But follow me over to the book of Daniel. Now watch this. Praise Yahuwah. Go to Daniel chapter 10, brothers and sisters. Abba Yah is good to us. Abba Yah is good to us, brothers and sisters. I even just right now, I almost want to cry. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, wow, Abba Yah. You love your this man enough to be able to share with him what he's sharing with us right now, what I'm sharing with us. But he loved me enough to allow me to give me the grace to share it. And I'm just feeling like I just feel so humbled. And so, I'm just saying, I'm not going anywhere with that. I'm just telling you how I feel emotionally. At least in this particular moment, this I don't know, 20-second moment. I'll be back. I mean, I'll be out of this in a minute, I'm sure. But that's how full my heart is with my thankfulness to him for letting me be able to share this with you all, my brothers and sisters. All right? But check this out, brothers and sisters. The book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12. Now, this is Gabriel talking to Daniel. Watch this, what he says. Then said he, again, the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12. And then said he, fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you did set your heart to understand and to chasten yourself before Elohim, your words were heard, and I am come for your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me for 21 days. But lo, Michael came, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the king of Persia. And now I am come to make you understand what shall befall your people in the latter days, for yet your vision is for many days. What is he saying here? What he's saying is Daniel had gone before Abba Yah and asked some questions in prayer. But for 21 days, Abba Yah could not get answered to prayer back to Daniel because Satan, or one of the demons, had gotten in the middle. And they were delaying Gabriel from coming back to Daniel with the answer. So Michael, the archangel, had to come in on behalf of Gabriel to move that entity out of the way so Gabriel could come back and bring forth the word from Abba Yah, Yahuwah, to Daniel. So if you don't think there are forces that can intercept your prayers, demonic forces, then you just saw an example that they were doing it to Daniel. And Daniel was a mighty man, a mighty prophet, a very resilient prophet. And if they could do it to Daniel, and Daniel was a Torah keeper. If you know the book and you know the story of them getting thrown in the fire, getting thrown into the lion's den, they were Torah keepers. But Yah protected them because Yah was hearing their prayers. And even when Satan tried to delay an answer, because Daniel wanted to know about end time, that's when you get over to chapter 12, talks about knowledge increase, times of trouble, etc. But even as a man as strong as Daniel was in his faith, the enemy was still there trying to intercept his prayers. So yes, it can happen. Proverbs 28:9 tells us how to prevent it from happening. And again, Satan, he can transform himself into an angel of light. That's why, we see that we saw it again. Go back over to the book of Jasher. When he confronted Sarah, he made himself look like someone who Sarah would be more open to conversating with. Someone who was showing compassion for her concerns with her son. To Abraham, what did he do? The same thing. He changed himself into a man that would look like one of Abraham's peers to persuade Abraham, not to fulfill Abba Yah's commandment. Transforming himself as a friend or an angel of light. And he did the same thing to Isaac. A handsome young man, 17, 18 years old. And he got into Isaac's ear and told him, man, your dad going to kill you, right? How evil your father is. But because Abraham and his son were both servants of Abba Yah, and they put Abba Yah's will in need because they understood the Torah and the importance of obeying it, that there was no weapon formed against them that could separate them. And so what Isaac did, he went right to his father and said, hey, guess what? Guess what that guy just said? And his father said, yeah, that's the devil. Right? One could put 1,000 to flight. What? 2, 10,000 to flight. Is that not Psalms 91? Did not David tell us that? Correct? But it's all about alignment. It's all about the Torah. All about obedience, brothers and sisters. So for those of you, again, wherever you may be spending your Wednesday night, so however you're, growing in your knowledge, however you're concerned about your family, however you're concerned about your soul, all I present to you is what I just presented to you. Are you praying correctly? And how do you know that that Abba Yah is hearing your prayers and answering your prayers versus the enemy masquerading himself as, a redeemer and giving you temporary, satisfaction or temporary answers, temporary solutions, only to discourage you in the long run, to cause you to not trust the only one, Elohim. And if that's a possibility, then again, I've just given you a solution. Come and join us Wednesday nights, 7:30 Eastern Time. 516-597-9598. Wherever you are on this flat earth. Just keep in mind, if this Eastern Time where we are, then you're going to have to do the math. If you're on the Pacific coast, that's 3 hours earlier. If you're in London, that's going to be 4 hours later. Okay, and anywhere between, obviously you have to figure that out. You can, all right? But you are invited. All right. Now let's get over to, turn with me to the book of Jasher. And again, this lesson is I'm going to go right to the point. I'm going to be as concise as Abba Yah will allow me to be. But remember, brothers and sisters, this is not to scare you. This is not to run you away. This is to draw you closer. As the book tells us, redeeming the times for the days of evil. Be mindful. We need to be drawing closer and closer together to one another and to our Creator in these last and evil days. And the only way we can be mindful to do that, we have to talk about it. You know, we have to bring this up. We can't just say, oh, well, I told them 3 weeks ago. I'm sure they haven't forgotten. With all the busyness that we have going on in the world, plus Satan is constantly in our ears with his crap, his SHIT, study throwing stuff at us all the time, causing us worry, concern, illness, sickness, all these things that unfortunately we're not protected from because we are under the curse that Deuteronomy speaks about and Leviticus speaks about, I might add. Leviticus 26 is very similar to what you'll read in Deuteronomy 28 if you haven't been over there. Go to Leviticus 26 and 12 and start reading. It's almost a duplicate copy of what you're going to see in Deuteronomy 28 starting at verse 15. Just to give you something to compare and contrast. Precepts is what we call it. Cross-referencing. But even in all of that, we can be blessed. But in order for us to be blessed, we have to turn to Abba Yah. In order for us to turn to Abba Yah, we have to be keeping his Torah. Okay? And I suspect that's why you're here right now. Because either you're already doing it, or maybe you weren't aware that you need to be doing it. And this is your opportunity. Praise Yahuwah for you. This is a blessed day for you then, if the latter fits you. But you got to act on it, or you just can't say, oh, great. Wow, great news, DFG. And time to study. Okay, I got my saw. Oh, here it is. Right? Oh, yeah. We building. But we're going to revisit. So go over to Jasher chapter 6, verse 11. And I'm going to share with you some events that happened right before Yah judged the earth the first time. I think, or it may have been the second time. There was a flood before that flood, but this was a mighty flood. But there were events that happened. And I want you to compare and contrast what we're going to read to what's going on right now with all the indicators that we see happening all over this flat earth. The threat of war, the threat of famine, the threat of diseases. You know, the technology advancements, the gender confusion issues that are going on, the spilling of blood everywhere you look, the deception church, the false church everywhere. All of these are signs of the times to get the elite, the elect of Abba Yah, attention and to move us away from it so that we can be protected. Let's take a look at what happened in Noah's day. I'm going to start reading at Jasher chapter 6, verse 11. It said, on that day, Yahuwah cursed the earth to shake. On that day, verse 11, 6 and 11, Jasher. On that day, Yahuwah caused the whole earth to shake, and the sun darkened, and the fountains of the world raged. That's the waterways. And all of the whole earth was moved violently, and the lightning flashed, and the thunder roared, and all the foundations in the earth were broken up, such as was not known to the inhabitants of the earth before. See, that's the thing that a lot of our people struggle with because they've never experienced anything like the things that are to come. So it's hard for them to believe it when we tell them this is going to happen. War is coming. Famine is coming. What did Deuteronomy Deuteronomy in our Torah 28 and 53 talks about what? People eating people. And when we say that, they look at that like, oh, that's craziness. People have been eating people for a long time, brothers and sisters. I was talking to one of the brothers, I think it was Brother Mendez yesterday, and I were talking. We were talking about how they, they've been putting, unborn babies that mothers have chosen not to allow to live, and how they're taking, the part of, their bodies and they use that in makeup and certain drinks and foods, etc. One of the religions tell you, to eat this, to remember that when you're eating his body and drinking his blood. Of course, they claim it's a communion bread or loaf or whatever you call it, wafer, and wine. But it's definitely an act of cannibalism. It's a symbolism of cannibalism. And that's a whole religion that does that. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. Many of y'all did it every Sunday. Or how often they were doing communion in your church. And they told you to your face what you were doing. And you never picked up on it. Because they made it sound redeeming. But Satan is clever. Woe unto him who call evil good and good evil. Is that not the word? But let's come back to this message. And it says, again, picking back up where I left off at. And it says, on the fountains of earth were broken up, such as was not known unto the inhabitants, the people on the earth before. And Elohim did this mighty act in order to terrify the sons of men. And why? That there might not be more evil upon the earth. See, a lot of things that Abba Yah is doing is to warning them to stop. Stop introducing sexual content to our little babies. Stop confusing our little sons and daughters with gender, confusing, information. Or a better word, I guess, would be social engineering. To warn us. But like the men in that day, they're not listening. They're not listening. And he gave them all that thunder, all that lightning, all the raging of the waters, all the torment, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, tsunamis, earthquakes, all those things to warn them, and they just brushed it off like, yeah, right, that's just like things happen. People die. You remember the earthquake in Turkey? I think the last count was in, over 40-something thousand people. That was hot for about a week and a half, and then everybody just forgot about it. I wonder how that happened, how they could forget about that. Because they have us so engineered that we just run to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing to keep our brains scattered, or to keep their brains scattered. If you're in Israel and you're in the Tanakh and you're with like-minded brothers and sisters who love Abba Yah in his Torah, then you're not going to get scattered around like that. Because you're going to have like-minded brothers and sisters that can help each other. Iron sharpens iron. We keep each other on the right path. That's what we do. And if one of our brothers and sisters start to drift a little bit, we hurry up and grab them and say, nah, come back. No, you're going, that's too close to the edge. We don't want you to fall. Come on back. But they wouldn't listen. He tried to terrify them with the signs of the times, and they still blew it off, just like right now. When we tell everybody we're near the end, they've been saying that y'all just trying to scare everybody. I don't want to hear that. I'm going to unsubscribe. Unsubscribe from a channel makes no sense to me. I'll be honest with you, brothers and sisters. You'd have, for me to unsubscribe from somebody's channel, they'd have to do something so wicked and evil and vicious and hateful, and I would get nothing out of it. I mean, I'm subscribed to some people. I tell you what, for entertainment purpose, for lack of anything else, I don't agree with almost anything they say, but just the fact that, at least they're saying something, so I'll dip in or peek in or whatever. But our people get sometimes overly emotional, and we start doing things, and we don't realize that could be enemy in your ear telling you to do that, because something's going to be coming that it doesn't want you to know. And because you're being reactive, instead of being patient and stepping back and saying, well, let me evaluate this. Does this apply to me? Then I need to hear it. If it doesn't apply to me, then I just need to ignore it. I don't have to overreact. And I just say that might help somebody. Maybe it won't, but it needs to be said, so I said it. Don't run from the truth, even if you don't think it applies to you, or if you don't agree with it. Information is power. Knowledge is everything as it relates to how to take that information. Information is good. You need knowledge to clarify. You need wisdom to execute it. But just because you don't agree with something, to run from it, that is not advantageous all the time. Again, if it's wickedness, yeah. If it's perverse, absolutely yes. But if it's just something that you don't happen to agree or see the same way, then that's not enough reason to turn away from information. That's not enough reason to turn away from knowledge. There comes a time that you listen and you hear it and you just agree or you disagree. If you disagree, so what? Just go to another channel. Come back later. Maybe they'll say something that you agree with in the future. Don't close the door on that opportunity. And that's for every content creator, not just speaking for myself. I'm just saying to you, if you like them enough to subscribe, then there's a reason behind that. Hold on. There's an old saying in corporate America, they say, when they get ready to terminate somebody, they say, well, it's funny, you liked them when you hired them. Now all of a sudden, because you dislike them, you want to fire them. No, you're going to go out there and work with them and figure out how to make it work. Let's go back to what caused you to hire them in the first place. What if that was the mindset that we approach with everything? Before we just threw the baby out with the bathwater, we took some time to assess, evaluate, and figure out how to work it out or work through it. Maybe we don't work it out with them, but we work through it in ourselves. To always leave us an opportunity to increase in information or increase in knowledge. Okay? Verse 12. Well, the last verse in verse 11. It said, and Elohim did this mighty act in order to terrify the sons of men, that there might be no more evil upon the earth. But again, they weren't easily scared. Most of our people today, if you think about the things that they're doing, that they know that it goes against the word of Abba Yah, they know it goes against the Torah, they still do it. They're not afraid. It brings back to mind, one of my family members, and he was a part of the group, but he was violating the Shabbat left and right, and when he got called out on it, you follow me, his attitude was nonchalant. He hasn't been back since. So do you think he really loved Abba Yah? You really think that he feared that if he violated the Torah, that could be a problem for him? Of course he didn't feel like that. That's why he was blowing it off. But he kind of liked what we were doing, right? And I'm sure, figured that he could gain some advantage from Abba Yah by being a part of the study. But if you're disobeying, again, we just read that in Proverbs 28:9. If you're disobeying Abba Yah's Torah, you might well go on out there and live your best life now, as they say. Just do as you will. Because you're going to be judged for it down the road anyway. Just saying. Verse 12, and the sons of men would not return from their evil ways, and they increased the anger of Yahuwah at that time. That's what I'm saying. All this wickedness that's going on, brothers and sisters, they're stroking Abba Yah's anger. And although nothing has happened traumatic yet, at least not here, if you were in Turkey with an earthquake with almost 50,000 people died, I think you would find that pretty damn impressive. I think that would get your attention. But nothing like that has happened here. In this particular country, really most of the countries yet. But they just pushing on Abba Yah, they're pushing on Abba Yah until this anger gets to a place where they're going to find out the hard way. They went too close to that edge. And when Abba Yah drops judgment on them, they're going to regret the day they were born. But let's see what happened with these guys. See if I'm close to them having any regret. Now here we hear the warning, and obviously they're not changing. Just like today, we've been giving them the warnings, right, brothers and sisters? But as we know, so many of the people we've been giving the warnings to, testifying to, saying, come out of religion, stop living like that. That's not the right decision to make. You don't have a right to take a life. You're born a boy, so you're a boy. But they're not listening. At least those who are pushing those agendas. And the people who are listening to them. They're not listening. Let's go on. Verse 12. And still the sons of men would not return from their evil ways, and they increased the anger of Yahuwah at that time, and did not even direct their hearts to this at all. In other words, they didn't give a damn. They said, I don't care what the Torah says. I'm going to do what I want to do. My life, my decision, leave me alone. And what they fail to understand, they're saying that to many of us. But what they may not necessarily be considering, I don't know what's in their hearts, but they may not necessarily be considering that when they're saying that to us, they're really saying that to the Creator. And we have examples of that. Remember what happened when Moses got frustrated because the people wouldn't listen to him? Or when Samuel got frustrated because the people wouldn't listen to him and they wanted a king? Or they didn't think Moses had the authority to rule over him. He wasn't any better than them. What did Abba say to Samuel, both Samuel and Moses? He said, look, don't take it personal, fellas. He said, when they rejected you two, they weren't rejecting y'all. Moses, they were not rejecting you. Samuel, they were not rejecting you, even though they were talking at you because you were talking to them on my behalf. They were rejecting me. And if Abba does not change, then the story stays the same. Many of the people who are rejecting us and speaking their truth don't realize that they're speaking that truth against Abba Yah. Because if you're coming to them with the word, you're coming to them with the Torah, you're coming at them with the truth, and they reject that truth, again, brother, it hurts us, and yeah, we feel rejected, no question about it. But understand, it's worse than that for them. We get the depression of being rejected, the frustration maybe of being rejected, but they get the consequences of being rebellious from the Almighty Creator, Yahuwah. Not a good thing for them. It's not a good look. And most of them don't know this, so share this with them. They're not thinking like this. When they do that, they're not even considering that Abba Yah is listening to them. Yahuwah. They have no clue. Some of them. Others don't care. We get it. But a lot of them, they do care. They just don't understand. They think it's between us. You got your truth and I got my truth. And we're saying, well, this ain't my truth. This is Abba Yah's truth. I don't have a truth. I have an Elohim and a Torah for which I obey. But I have no truth of myself. I just don't want you being caught up in lies. Okay? Let's get on to it so we can get through it. And the sons of men would not return from their evil ways, and they increased the anger of Yahuwah at that time, and did not even direct their hearts to all of this. In other words, they didn't listen. And at the end of 7 days, in the 600th year of the life of Noah, the waters of the flood were opened up on the earth. And all the fountains of the deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened, and the rain was upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. And Noah and his household, and all the living creatures that were with him came into the ark on account of the waters, and Yahuwah shut them in. Just like he's going to shut us in when the damnation, the judgment comes upon this earth. He's going to protect us if we're in the truth, brothers and sisters. And all the sons of men that were left upon the earth became exhausted through the evil on the account of the rain, and for the waters coming more violently upon the earth. And all the animals and all the beasts were surrounding the ark. And the sons of men assembled together, about 700,000 men and women, and they came to Noah to the ark. And they called to Noah, saying, open up for us that we may come to you in the ark. And wherefore shall we die? Now they want to come in. Now they want to listen. So there's such a time it's called too late, brothers and sisters. And unfortunately, many of our people, in this case, 700,000 of them, almost 1 million people, now running to the ark, saying, let me in, let me in, let me in. Let's see what Yahuwah is going to do. Now that they're listening, now that he has their attention. And Noah with a loud voice answered from the ark, saying, have you not rebelled against Yahuwah? And said that he does not exist? Now therefore Yahuwah has brought upon you this evil to destroy and cut off you from the face of the earth. Is it not this thing that I spoke to you 120 years back, and you would not listen to the voice of Yahuwah, and now you desire to live upon the earth? See, now Noah's coming back to him and quoting Proverbs 9 and 21. I mean, Proverbs 1, verses 21 through 9. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 21 forward. He's telling them now. Now Abiyah said, I'm not hearing. I don't want to hear what you have to say. And here's Noah saying, now you want to listen. Have I not been telling you guys this? Like we're telling many of our loved ones now. Have we not been telling you guys that this is going to happen? And see, when it happens, they're going to do the same thing. Many of our people right now are in wickedness or abominable actions and behaviors, idolatry, sorcery, you name it, and they're still not listening to us. They see us just like they saw Noah. And when they were rejecting Noah, they were really rejecting Yahuwah. Just as I stated a moment ago, when they're rejecting some of us, brothers and sisters, if you're bringing forth the truth, again, don't take it personal. They're not rejecting you. They're rejecting Yahuwah. But your job is to keep talking until Abiyah puts you in the ark or shuts you up. And eventually, he will. There will be a famine of the word. We read that in the book of Amos, chapter 8, right? Around verses 11 down up in there. It said there's going to be a famine of the word. They're going to wish that we were around to talk to them and share these things with them, but it's going to be too late. Nothing new under the sun. Goes on, verse 20. Is this not the thing that I spoke to you 120 years back, and you would not hearken to the word of Yahuwah? And now do you desire to live upon the earth? Verse 21. And they said to Noah, we are ready to return to Yahuwah. Now they want to repent. Now they want to come out of idolatry. Now they want to come out of sorcery. Now they don't want to be a girl if they were born, a man. Now they don't want to be a man if they were born a girl. Now they want to keep their babies. Too late. It was too late for them. Now we're ready to return to Yahuwah. Only open for us that we may live and not die. And Noah answered them, saying, behold, now that you see the trouble of your souls, you wish to return to Yahuwah. Why did you not return during these 120 years, which Yahuwah granted you as a determined period? He said he gave you time to repent and you wouldn't. Now it's too late. Like we tell them now, come, guys, come. Here we are, over here, come. But we'll get there, or I ain't coming at all. I'll get there later on, Mom, Dad. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be on the call Wednesday, but they don't show up. And they don't even remember to get on the call, let alone show up. That's how important it was to them. Something that where you have a chance to get united with your Creator in the last and evil times as we're in. But nothing new under the sun, brothers and sisters. Why did you not return during these 120 years, which Yahuwah granted you as the determined period was? But now you come and tell me this on account of the troubles of your soul. Now also Yahuwah will not listen to you, neither will he give ear to you on this day, so that you will not succeed in your prayers or your wishes. What's going to happen to him? See, this might be where you go to minute 45 and say, hey, look, you don't want to listen to the whole hour or so. Just go to area 40, go to minute 45 on the video I just sent you, and then listen to from 45 to the end, and then call me back and tell me what you think. Maybe that's what you do, brothers and sisters. I mean, if you love them enough to keep trying is what I'm saying. Some of them you may have just given up on it, and that's okay. That's not on you. How many times do you tell them? Like Noah said, I told you, you wouldn't listen. Now it's too late. Sorry. I love you, but sorry. Can't do anything for you. Verse 24. And the sons of men approached in order to break into the ark and to come on account of the rain, for they could not bear the rain upon them. And Yahuwah sent all the beasts and animals that stood around the ark, and the beast overpowered them and drove them from that place, and every man went his way, and they were scattered themselves upon the face of the earth. And I'm going to stop right there, because the rest of it just tell you the water came and they died. It wasn't a happy ending. And see this part here where Abiyah says, I'm going to give you a chance. And when you keep on rejecting me, so when you want me more, or when you're ready to come, I'm going to turn my back on you. Let's go over to Proverbs chapter 1 real quick. And I'm going to read this to you, and then we're going to be done, brothers and sisters. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom cries without. She utters her voice in the street. She cries in the chief place of concourse. and the openings of the gate. In the city she utters her words, saying, how long will you simple ones, will you love simplicity? How long are you going to keep on playing around with your souls? And the scorners delight in their scornings. How long are you going to call us names because we're standing up for Abba Yah's truth? And the fools hate knowledge, going to keep in the old way, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, not realizing that you're just being set up, fattened up for destruction. 23, turn you at my reproof, at my warning. Behold, I will pour out my ruhuk unto you, and I will make known unto you the words, my words unto you. Number 24, verse 24, because I have called and you will refuse. This was happening in Noah's day. This is what's happening in our day. Because I have called and you have refused, I have stretched out my hand and you disregarded it. Again, what's happening right now, happened in Noah's day, nothing new under the sun. But you have set at naught my counsel. You have ignored my counsel, and none of you have accepted the warnings. That's what reproof means. And then he says this, I will also laugh. I also will laugh at your calamity, and I will mock you when your fears come. In other words, I'm going to make fun of you when your fear comes. And when your fear comes as desolation or destruction, and your destruction comes as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish comes upon you, as they were in Noah's day, now they're all stressed out because they realize they're gonna be destroyed. Then shall you call upon me, but I will not answer, and you will seek me all the day, but you will not find me. For that they hated the knowledge, and they did not choose to fear Yahuwah. Nor would they take any of my counsel, because they despised my warning. And now they shall eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. In other words, karma is going to happen to them. They're going to reap what they sowed. But the turning away of the simple shall kill them, and the prosperity of fools are going to destroy them. They love the stuff, they love the things of this world more than they love their own souls, and therefore they were deceived and trusting in materialism, only to realize too late that couldn't save them. Again, thank you, brothers and sisters. That's it. That's all I have for you. I think that's enough. Shabbat Shalom. Again, thank you, brothers and sisters who are part of the platform. Thank you, for those of you who have subscribed. Remember the backup channel. Don't forget that. Subscribe to it. If you will. And then for those of you who are supporting, the channel, supporting me as I do Abba Yah's work, you are very, 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 very much appreciated. Okay? But more than anything else, brothers and sisters, don't forget what you heard. If you want Abba Yah to hear your prayers, you have to get into his Torah. If you're trying to get with groups of people who are trusting Abba Yah's Torah, studying and teaching it, we're here for you. You're welcome to join us. Until the next time, may Yah bless you, keep you, shed his light upon you. If you're in the darkness, I hope this message help you. If you're in the light, I hope this message strengthen you. DFG, talk to you soon. Shalom.